Everything that we do in the House of Representatives should be in the best interest of getting Donald Trump reelected. This guy right here. Motions to vacate, justified or unjustified. We don't have time for that right now.
They keep telling us over and over, Republicans in Congress don't work for the people that elected them. They work solely for the interests of Donald Trump. They showed us by rejecting a border bill that conservatives would usually love, so at least they can stop lying about that.
The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
Just to correct the record, I did not endorse Senator Langford. I didn't do it. But I think this is a very bad bill for his career, and especially in Oklahoma. They are not going to be happy about this, Dan, when they see this. This is crazy. This is lunacy, this bill. And you know what it is? It's a gift to the Democrats.
Did Donald Trump kill this for you? He said Republicans who even consider voting for this should be ashamed of themselves.
He's got a campaign that he's running. He's focusing on trying to be elected to president. Again, my focus is a national security focus. I'm the ranking member on border management for Homeland Security. That's my main focus, is to get that.
And when Republicans in Congress only work for a self-serving, fascist-minded former president that's trying to escape the law, they'll support him taking over the courts, their legislator, and maybe even install family to run the RNC so that they can stop working for their loyal asses and only serve his needs. Sounds like a great idea.
Saying for a while now that your priority is to ensure a transparent election, and I see that the RNC and the Trump campaign filing a lawsuit in a battleground state to stop counting ballots past Election Day. What are you doing with regard to suing Nevada right now?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. You cannot have ballots counted, Maria, after elections are over. And right now, that is one of the many lawsuits we have out across this country to ensure that just that happens, that we have a free, fair, and transparent election. So in Nevada, as you pointed out, we are saying we want on Election Day that to be the last day that mail-in ballots can be counted.
I guess that ridiculous plan is better than the one Trump deployed when he lost in 2020 by simply screaming on Twitter to stop the count. And instead of ramping up and sending gullible supporters to converge onto polling locations after he started losing, this time his daughter-in-law is running recruiting pitches on Fox News for loyal viewers to be Election Day foot soldiers to intimidate voters and manipulate ballots.
Can't overstate how important it is for us to get people on our election integrity team. It is the largest division we have right now at the RNC. If you want to volunteer out there to be a poll watcher, a poll worker, someone who can actually work in these polling locations and tabulation centers, we are now able to train you. We want you to join our team. If you're an attorney, we want attorneys volunteering as well, because we want them in every single major polling location across this country to ensure that we are not waiting for weeks after Election Day. We are going to strike at a moment's notice during early voting, during Election Day voting. We have to have our eyes on everything. So we want people to come volunteer. Michael Whatley, the chairman of the RNC, and I have announced that we want 100,000 people on our election integrity team by November 5th, and we plan to meet that goal. So I want to encourage everyone out there, please come join us, because, Maria, it is the most important thing.
You know, because it's totally normal and legal for a presidential campaign that sent supporters to attack the Capitol after their guy lost last time to train poll watchers they enlisted from a biased cable news audience. It hasn't worked out so well for everyone that towed the line and went through the Trump training for illegal election schemes last time.
I went over to be election integrity counsel for Donald Trump. When that transition happened, since that transition has happened, I can tell you I've had the U.S. Marshals show up at my house, the FBI, the Department of Justice has interrogated me, and I've been investigated by bars. I've had several independent investigations, as well as been subpoenaed in, I want to say, 4 civil cases. See how this is going to play out. I'm working hard to fight against it, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
The 9 felonies are how many years in prison? If you were found guilty,
know.
how many for those 9 felonies?
Yeah, several decades.
Is it 50 years in prison?
Something like that. Yeah, I assume it would be the rest of my life in prison, yeah.
A bunch of Law and Order supporters once said, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. but now breaking the law is a badge of honor in the criminal wing of the Republican Party that they call MAGA. And their identifying signs include an unbreakable connection to the lie that Donald Trump didn't lose the 2020 election.
So, we have, I think approximately 70% of Republicans still say that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. It's like, are we going to abandon truth to that degree? I mean, it's absolutely absurd. I mean, after all this time, all the courts that were, solicited to look into it, there's been no evidence of widespread fraud. Actually, most of the evidence I've seen so far has been Republicans trying to corrupt the election, and yet they continue to put it out there and promote it. It's like, how does a party survive in a setting like that?